The front of that package says healthy, low fat, high protein, all natural. But after 60, the real story about your kidneys is usually printed on the back in tiny letters most people never read. I'm Grace Wells, kidney and diabetes health educator for older adults. And today we are not talking about junk food. We are talking about the snacks sitting in your pantry right now that you reach for specifically because you think they are the smart choice. 5 of them. And the one that surprises people the most is not the salty one. It is the one that looks like it belongs in a fitness magazine, sitting right between your vitamins and your morning medication, treated as if it could do no harm at all. Let's start in the grocery aisle because that is exactly where this confusion begins. You pick up a box, the front says protein, the front says wellness, the front says clean. Food companies know exactly what catches your eye, and after 60, healthy sells. But healthy for a 30-year-old training for a marathon is not always the same as kidney health after 60. Different body, different needs. Sometimes a very different reaction. So flip it over. That is where this video really begins. Snack 1, the protein bar. You grab one because protein feels responsible. Muscle health, energy, staying strong as you age, all good reasons. But many protein bars pack 15, 20, even 30 grams of protein into one small bar, often using added protein isolates rather than whole food. Here is what most people never hear from a cashier or a commercial. For seniors with reduced kidney function, too much concentrated protein, especially from processed sources, may make kidneys work harder to filter the waste products that protein leaves behind. This does not mean protein is your enemy. It means the amount and the source, depending on your kidney function, is something worth reviewing with your doctor. And there is a second hidden detail. Many protein bars contain phosphate additives, the manufactured kind, added purely for texture and shelf life. Research suggests this added form of phosphorus may be absorbed by the body more easily than the natural phosphorus found in food. If your last lab results mentioned phosphorus at all, that single ingredient line deserves your attention. Here is a quick way to spot it. Look for anything on the ingredient list with the word phosphate attached. Calcium phosphate, sodium phosphate, dipotassium phosphate. They sound harmless, almost scientific, almost reassuring. But for someone whose doctor has flagged phosphorus, these few words can matter more than the entire nutrition panel above them. I once had a gentleman tell me he ate 2 protein bars a day, every day, for almost a year because his grandson recommended them after his own gym visits. 2 different bodies, 2 very different needs. He was not wrong to want strength and energy. He simply needed the version built for a 72-year-old, not a 22-year-old. If you enjoy protein bars, you do not have to give them up blindly. A simple swap many seniors find easier than expected is choosing a bar with a shorter ingredient list. Fewer than 10 ingredients if possible, since shorter lists usually mean fewer manufactured additives, including the phosphate kind we just talked about. Now here is where it gets interesting because snack 2 is not even pretending to be a treat. Snack 2. Veggie chips or salty crackers. The bag says vegetable. Beet, carrot, kale, real vegetables right there in bright orange letters. But here's the part that catches people off guard. Many veggie chips are fried, salted, and processed almost exactly like potato chips, just with a more flattering name and a green leaf on the bag. Sodium is the real concern here. After 60, especially for anyone managing blood pressure, heart health, or kidney function, sodium does not just affect your blood pressure number. It affects how much fluid your body holds onto, and that extra fluid is something your kidneys must manage every single day, one snack at a time. A handful here, a handful there. It adds up faster than most people realize, and it rarely feels like a problem until a doctor visit brings it into focus. Think about this for a second. One small serving of veggie chips can carry close to a quarter of the sodium some doctors recommend for an entire day, especially for seniors managing blood pressure or fluid retention. And almost nobody measures a handful. We eat from the bag in front of the television without counting a single chip. If your ankles have felt a little more swollen by evening lately, or your rings have felt tighter than they used to, sodium is often one of the very first places worth looking, long before anything more serious is assumed. If this first one already changed how you will look at a snack bag tonight, that small tap on the like button helps another senior find this video at exactly the right moment before their own labs ever shift. Stay with me, because snack 3 is the one almost nobody sees coming, and it might be sitting in your cupboard marked as the healthiest item in your entire kitchen. Snack 3. Salted nuts or oversized nut portions. Nuts have a wonderful reputation, and for good reason. Heart-healthy fats, fiber, a satisfying crunch instead of empty calories. Many seniors eat them specifically because a doctor once told them nuts were a smart swap. But nuts are also naturally high in both sodium, when salted, and potassium, even when unsalted. A small handful is one thing. A large bowl in front of the television during an evening show is something else entirely. For seniors whose doctor has mentioned watching potassium due to CKD, certain blood pressure medications, or diabetes-related kidney changes, an oversized portion of nuts, eaten daily, can quietly become one of the bigger contributors to a higher lab number without ever feeling like an unhealthy habit. This is exactly why I said earlier, the one that surprises people the most does not look like junk food at all. I want you to picture your own evening routine for a moment. The bowl on the side table, the show you watch every night. Most people do not eat one small handful of nuts. They refill that bowl 2, sometimes 3 times, without ever noticing, because nothing about it feels indulgent. It feels responsible. And that is precisely why it slips past so many people, including some who are otherwise very careful about their health. A small habit that helps many seniors here is portioning nuts into a tiny dish before sitting down, rather than placing the whole bag or container within reach. It sounds almost too simple, but it removes the part of the brain that keeps refilling without thinking. And this next part matters more than you think, because it involves a snack many seniors eat specifically believing it is gentle on digestion and good for energy. Snack 4. Dried fruit, apricots, raisins, dates, mango, the little resealable bag that travels in a purse or a coat pocket for an easy energy boost between meals. Here is what concentration actually means with dried fruit. When fruit is dried, the water is removed, but the sugar and the potassium stay behind, now packed into a much smaller, much more concentrated bite. A handful of dried apricots can carry significantly more potassium and sugar than the same handful of fresh fruit. For someone managing blood sugar, that concentrated sugar can spike glucose quickly. And for someone managing potassium, that small bag can carry far more impact than its size suggests. Neither of these means dried fruit is forbidden. It means portion and your own lab results matter here more than the word natural printed on the bag. To put it simply, about a quarter cup of dried apricots can carry roughly the same potassium as a much larger serving of fresh apricots. The bag feels light. The fruit feels innocent. But your body experiences it as something far more concentrated than the snack appears. If dried fruit is part of your daily routine, a simple shift many seniors find satisfying is pairing a smaller portion, just a tablespoon or 2, with a few unsalted nuts or a piece of cheese instead of eating from the bag until it feels finished. The combination slows things down and tends to leave you just as satisfied. And here is something worth remembering before we move to the last one. None of these 5 snacks are listed here because they are bad food. They are listed here because they are commonly misunderstood, especially after 60, when the body's relationship with sodium, potassium, and phosphorus quietly shifts. And here is something most people never think to question. almost every snack package on a store shelf is designed around a serving size that nobody actually stops at. A small bag of dried fruit might claim 2 or 3 servings inside. A protein bar might be labeled as 1.5 servings, which almost nobody ever splits. The number on the front of the label, the calories, the protein, the sugar, all of it is calculated for that one small serving, not for what most of us actually eat in one sitting. Now the last one, and remember what I told you at the very beginning, this is the one that looks the most like a fitness magazine cover. Snack 5, flavored yogurt or processed health snacks marketed around protein and wellness. A small cup, bright label, words like light, protein-packed, or gut-healthy splashed across the front. It feels like the responsible choice between meals. But flip it over. Many flavored yogurts carry significant added sugar, sometimes more than a dessert, simply to balance out the tartness once fruit flavoring and processing are involved. And some of the newer protein-boosted versions use added phosphate ingredients, the same manufactured kind we talked about earlier, to help texture and shelf stability. This is not about fear. It is about awareness. A senior managing blood sugar and a senior with no blood sugar concerns at all may read that exact same yogurt label very differently, and that is completely normal. Your body, your labs, your conversation with your doctor. Stand in front of that yogurt section for just one more second. There are usually 2 versions side by side, plain, unsweetened yogurt and the flavored cup right next to it, sometimes carrying 3 or 4 times the sugar for almost the same price. Most people grab the one with the prettier label, the one that promises flavor, without ever comparing the 2 side by side. A small swap, plain yogurt, with your own handful of fresh berries stirred in, can quietly remove a surprising amount of added sugar from your week without removing the snack you actually enjoy. A little cinnamon or a drizzle of honey, measured rather than poured, can carry the same comfort without the hidden cost printed in the small print. So here is what I want you to actually remember from today, because 5 details are a lot to hold on to. It is not about removing every snack you enjoy. It is about learning to read 3 things on any label every single time. Sodium, because it affects blood pressure and fluid balance. Any ingredient with the word phosphate, because that added form may affect your kidneys more than the natural phosphorus in food. And serving size, because almost every package on a shelf is designed to be eaten in more than one sitting, even when it does not look that way. 3 words: sodium, phosphate, serving size. You do not need to memorize a chart or carry a calculator into the grocery store. You simply need to glance at those 3 things before the snack goes into your cart, and that single habit alone can quietly change quite a lot over the months ahead. Picture your pantry shelf 6 months from now. Not empty, not restricted, just a little more thoughtful, where the protein bar with the shorter ingredient list sits next to the one you used to grab without looking, and you simply know now which one to reach for more often. That is what this channel is really about. Not perfection, just one better choice at a time. If this made you think of something sitting in your own pantry right now, that is exactly why I make these videos. I want to tell you about a woman in her late 60s who once told me I thought I was eating healthy until my labs changed. She had swapped chips for protein bars 2 years earlier, proud of the change, never once checking the back label. She kept a drawer of them by the kettle, one every afternoon with her tea, certain she had made the responsible choice. Her doctor was not upset with her. Neither am I, telling you this now. She simply did not know what to look for because no one had ever shown her. Now you do. This does not mean panic. It means pay attention one label at a time. Before tomorrow, I want you to do one small thing. Pick up just one snack from your kitchen, the one you eat most often, and turn it around. Read the ingredient list, not the front claims. Notice if the word phosphate appears anywhere. Notice the sodium number. Notice how many servings are actually in that bag. This video is for education, not for diagnosis or treatment. Every senior's nutrition needs are different depending on your kidney function, your lab results, your medications, and your overall health. Before making any significant changes to your snacks or your daily eating pattern, please talk with your doctor or a renal dietitian who knows your specific numbers. Tell me in the comments, which snack do you reach for most often? Nuts, protein bars, crackers, dried fruit, or yogurt? Your answer might help another senior watching this realize they are not alone in figuring this out. If this is the kind of clear, practical guidance about kidney health after 60 you wish someone had explained to you years ago, you may want to stay close to this channel because this is exactly what we do here, every single week. And tomorrow, we are leaving the snack drawer behind completely to talk about something that surprises even more people. Vegetables, and the specific ones connected to potassium labs, sitting right there on your dinner plate, looking perfectly innocent, served with the very best intentions, night after night.